What up, y'all? Yeah, this second video that I'm gonna do today. I want to do a video about the race war. Um, I believe our world, and most of the, I mean, I'm from the United States. I've never been outside of um of the United States, so most of my stuff is gonna be United States wise. But I think we're in a race war in this world, and I think a lot of times people don't realize that the things that they do, you know. To me, and I'm gonna say this early, if you believe in God and if if you're following and you're trying to follow what he has commanded of you or asked of you, then it's certain things that how you wouldn't view things as far as when it comes to race. In certain ways you wouldn't view it. Because God doesn't God is not a racist. God, that's a form of hatred. That's a form of discrimination. It's a form of not being fair, and it's not love. Like love is when we have to understand that's not love when you have certain things that are. And I think we're at a race war. And the reason I know I did a video about racism and I explained what racism is, but I'm gonna explain why we're at a race war. I have a Facebook, okay, of course, because this video is gonna be on Facebook. So on Facebook, I have white friends, I have Hispanic friends, I have black friends, I have, I put Asians, I have pretty much, and if I miss your race, ethnicity, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I'm just saying, I have friends of a lot of different, I have African friends, I have so many different friends, so I have friends that are black that don't have no other race of friends, but just black people. I have friends that are white that have just mostly white people. That's what they have, and then, whatever. So, and then I have the friends that are mixed. They have a mixture of whatever on each race or every race. They have a mixture. Okay. So I see things that I be like, man, like that's racist. Like you're kind of being racist too, and you don't realize it. Okay, now let's get one thing straight. We understand racism is in the world, and I understand that, but I think a lot of times people don't know what it really is. Like they don't realize that they are racist. Like they don't realize it. Okay, so I'm on Facebook. I see stuff like you see certain things that are shared. Oh, did you know this da 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 da? Did you know this da da da? Okay, I'll be saying that. A lot of times you see stuff like like I see, okay, I see the thing about Bill Cosby and Jared, right? And I don't really like to talk about public figures, but you see that and you see something like, oh, this person right here did this and they crucified him, but this person did this and they didn't say nothing. Okay, it might be true. It might be true, but is it in all cases? It might not be in all cases. You get what I'm saying? And then you got to think about the the figure that this person is, and the figure that this person is, as far as their fame and their what people view them as. This ain't what we don't think about that all the time. What people view them as. Like you have people who they're cheated on their wife on the same race level. And when people found out the public, they still treated them different, and they both could be white or they both could be black. But it's just because of the level of fame or how people viewed them. Or I never thought this guy would do it. It ain't all time about race. Is it about race a lot of times? Yeah, we know, we understand that. But now I will say this: what we have to stop doing is we have to stop pointing the finger. We have to stop being spiteful. And it's the same way. Look, man, I have white friends. They'll share something and I'll be like, this is racist. Like, and I know you sharing it because you trying to say, look, black people, look. And I'm like, man, look, you shouldn't be like, you don't understand the perception, how this is coming off to. You know what I'm saying? It's like a slap in the face. Let's talk about cops killing black people. Let's talk about let's talk about cops killing people, period. Let's just talk about it. I see, we see the shares when black people say, oh, whatever. I'm going to talk about both issues. Yes, your behavior can cause things to happen. Now, let me say this. If a cop pulls me over, I am black. Yes, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like to classify myself as nothing. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm Marvin. If a race war broke out, I'll be a person in the middle. I ain't fighting nobody. So I wouldn't fight anybody because I love everybody, man. That's just how I view life. But anyways, I am black. That is my race. So if I get pulled over by a cop and the cop tells me to do something and I have a certain type of animosity towards him, he might already want to do something to me. He might already want to. So he might say, okay, he did this, bang, I can do this to him because I can say, look, this is what happened, and I can get off with it. And we know that that's happening. We know a lot of times as people, we know that that's happening. And a lot of times it's going to frustrate black people. And the thing I don't think white people understand is you don't understand that he already had the motive to do harm to this person. You know what I'm saying? And then white people are looking at it like, well, look how he acted. But this is the whole concept of it. Thou shalt not kill. It's that simple. It's that simple. And this is why I understand. Being a cop is a tough job, man. It's a tough job because it's dangerous. You know, it really is. It's a tough job. It's dangerous. So I understand, you know, if they could, like, say a cop say, oh, I fear for my life. We can't say he's lying because we're not in his head. We can sit back and have our opinion and perspective about it. Yes, we can do that. We can have our opinion and perspective about it. But in most, like the example I use, yes, it could be, yeah, he pulled him over. He already wanted to do something to him, bang. But he was just waiting on, yeah, let him do this, bang, you know, or whatever. Or he could have pulled him over and said, I'm gonna see how his behavior is. A lot of times, because I know people who they don't know they racist. All right, let me tell you why. I know people that are like that. I've heard people say, I don't dislike black people. I just don't like black people that act like that. Time out. What do you mean by that? That means you have a certain stigma towards if a black person act that way. But there's the same way you're saying they act, there are white people that can act that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have a stigma. You shouldn't have a thing where I don't like when black people act like that. You shouldn't have that type of stigma. And it's the same way, vice versa. Like it's the same way, vice versa. Like we have people who, black people will say, let me say something about this, about music. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Hip hop, rap, none of that. It is not a culture, okay? I'm sick of hearing that. It is not a culture. It is a genre of music. It ain't no culture, okay? Black people look at music and say, oh, we create rap, so if a white person do it, they just trying to be like us. No, they're not, okay? Now look at this. Who created basketball? A white man. And who dominates the game? Not dominable. I'm saying who's majority of the people that's in the NBA? Black people. It's just like baseball. I don't know who created baseball. I don't know if it was a white man or whatever. But it's dominated by people from Dominican Republic. It's dominated by that. Because you know why? They can play the game. And I'm going to be honest with you. In the NBA, there's a lot of discrimination towards white athletes. And it's the truth. But if I say that, because I'm black, people say, oh, you wrong, you know what I'm saying? They discriminate on that. That's not the point. Black people have to understand that we have to understand what white people go through, just like white people got to try to understand what we go through. And I know a lot of black people say, white people don't go through what we go through. It's the same thing. We don't go through what they go through. And you might think it's worse. That's your personal opinion. You might say, oh, I think it's worse what we go through. Okay, that's fine. That's your personal opinion. But have an understanding that every time something happen or when something goes to a certain degree, a white person can go somewhere and do something and they can be judged just because they white. You can just look at them and say, oh, they don't understand, or that junk, that wouldn't sit right with me. You see what I'm saying? That wouldn't sit right with me if somebody always judged me because of that. It's just like I believe in God. So every time I go somewhere or when I tell people that's what I believe in, they automatically associate me with a person who go to church all the time. Or you down talk people, you think you better than everybody. That junk right there, it makes me mad. It's upsetting. Like I don't get mad towards people and lash out at it, but it hits home. Like it does hit home. Like that's offensive. Because you're judging me because of what I believe. You think because I believe something that I'm like everybody else. You don't understand that. You know, everybody's different. You know, and that's the thing. We need to stop that. We need to stop doing that. We need to stop looking at life like, oh, because that person is white, I already know what they think. Or because that person is black, I already know what they think. No, you don't. You don't know what is in their mind. You need to stop that. We need to stop this stuff, man. Like for real. And this is another major problem. Especially in the United States, we believe life is all about white and black. You know how many races in the world? Life is not just about white and black. I don't know why people think that. Life is not just about white and black. But we look at it because you're in the United States and you think life is just about white and black. Life is not just about white and black. People need to stop thinking that life is not just about white and black. Now, let me touch on this right here, too, about relationships. Now, I see a mixed couple. I don't care what they race. This is the thing. If I see two people together, I'm not going to assume that they're a couple. That's number one. You know, I'm not finna just because they walking beside each other and it's a man and a woman. I'm not gonna assume that they're a couple. I mind my business. I'm the type of I mind my business, but that ain't got nothing to do. But I'm not gonna assume they're a couple. But let's just say I know they're a couple. Why does it? I'm not gonna care about what. I'm just gonna be like, man, I hope y'all happy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Hey, man, that's, you know, I hope y'all have a beautiful thing. Whatever. I don't look at another. I don't look at if I see a black girl with a white guy, oh, you know, he must be, you know, he must be rich, or he must he must be weak, she must be running all over him. I don't think like that. I don't think stuff like that. I don't think if I see a black guy with a white girl, oh, she must be doing something sexually. I don't think stuff like that. You know why? Because that's not why he's with her. I don't know if that's why he's with her. I don't know people's situation. It's just like, this ain't got nothing to do with this video, but I can't stand when people do this. When people be sharing these pictures and doing stuff on Facebook talking about he's sitting in the car while she pumping the gas. That man could be he could be a paralyzed person. You stop doing stuff like that. You don't understand people's situation. So get out of their business. Like, people need to stop doing it. Get out of people's business. It ain't got nothing to do with this video, but I just had to say that. But anyways, we need to stop looking at life like that. If you look at life like, if you say something like, I'm gonna do this for the black people, because I hear this all the time from black people. Ain't nothing like a black brother. Ain't nothing like that black strong woman. Ain't nothing like that. I don't care if nobody say I ain't never leaving there. Okay, that's what you say. Okay, now let's reverse the roles. Let's say you one day you talking to somebody and you hear a white woman say, "Oh, ain't nothing like that white man. Nothing like it. I never did." And then you hear a white woman, you hear a white man say, "Ain't nothing like that white woman. Ain't never." You gonna be mad because you know why? It's racist. It's racist because you're only saying it because it's your race. It's racist. Now let me get in touch on this. I heard one time I had posted a question about that. Is it racist if you wouldn't date outside your race? And people say, oh, it's preference. It's preference. Now, this is the thing about preference. Preference can be driven by so many different things. Preference can be driven by a lot of different things. Okay? Now, yes, is it a preference? Yes, it is preference. Everything we do is preference. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's racist. Because you can have, I could be a waiter. And I could be like, there's two tables. And my manager or my boss say, or whatever, say, you got to serve one of these tables. There's a Hispanic family, there's an Asian family. I say, well, you know what? I don't want to serve the Asian family because I prefer to serve the Mexican family. Is that going to be racist? Yes, it's going to be racist because I have a preference, right? And you don't have no valid point for that preference. You don't have no valid point for that. When it comes to, I don't know, man, what people are in people's minds, but when you, in your mind, when you living, when you waking up every day and you looking at life like, I know I couldn't be with, I've heard people say, I've heard black women say, I couldn't be with a white man because they don't understand what I go through. Nobody understands what you go through. Even if you're with a black man, he still have to learn you to understand stuff. I understand he might be like, oh yeah, that happened to me. White dude can be the same way. And even that's not what love in somebody is about. You get to know somebody, you be like, man, you've been through that, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me make it better. Let me love you, Ain't got nothing to do with race. But we look at stuff, and I don't understand what be going through our mind. We don't understand that if we actually looked at it like, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what you go through. I don't know what these people go through. It's just like when I've talked to people from different countries. I don't understand what goes on in those countries. I ain't never been, but I like talking to people and hearing, oh man, you know, in my country, it go this way, you know, it go this way. I had a guy tell me one time at one of my previous jobs, he said, you know, in the United States, it's about race, you know, your color, your skin, the racism. He was like, but in, you know, where I'm from, it's about your name. Do you know how that sounds to me? I was like, wow, people discriminated on you because of your last name. He says, like, you know, a set amount of common last names. And if you have certain ones, people treat you this way. That's crazy. It sounds crazy, don't it? Just like race sounds crazy. Let me give you another scenario about why race sounds crazy. I be talking to people, and when people say stuff to me, like, oh, you know, these my people, I be thinking, I be like, what you mean by that? because we all human, right? We all people. Oh, these my people. Okay, now let me ask you this. Now, if I start doing stuff like, I ain't gonna talk to this person because they ain't 5'9" like me. I'm 5'9". I ain't talking to nobody that ain't 5'9" because them ain't my people. That's how you sound, because it's a physical thing. Your race is a physical thing. It's something you can see. Your race has nothing to do with who you are as a person. Nothing. Nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. Now, this is the thing. Your race doesn't determine if you're racist. That's your decision. You get what I'm saying? Like, even, okay, if a black person is racist, they're not racist because they're black. Just because they hate white people, they're not racist because they're black. They're racist because they chose to be racist. It's the same thing vice versa. If a white person hate black people, you chose their life. Even if somebody told you about it, it doesn't matter. Once you become adult, you have to understand and learn. God is in all of us. He gives us right and wrong. He gives us that. And when you start looking at stuff like, oh, I never, like, people say such stuff, I don't get that. Like, people say, oh, I just, ain't nothing like this, that. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Don't ask me if I like a certain race. This is another thing that bothers me too, is if I know a dude and he done dated outside a black woman or a white woman or whatever, people will say stuff to him like, oh, you like white girls. What are you talking about? What are you? That's a hatred statement. That shows that you got a problem with it. That shows that you have a problem with it. And it's all fun and games to you, but you don't know how you making this guy feel on the inside. You don't know if that's very offensive to him. You get what I'm saying? Like, if somebody say to me, oh, you like a white girl, you like white girls, I'm going to be like, okay, and I like all women. I've been attracted to a woman from, man, everything. I'm talking about everything. Because I look at, man, she attractive, you know what I'm saying? I like, I might like her body. I might think she has a pretty face. She has a great smile, man. She's a nice person. Oh man, if you talk to her, man, she's very, she knows a lot of things, stuff like that. I'm not looking at the color of her skin, but in our world, man, it just, we're not gonna grow, man, as a world. And this is a thing, like, that's why when I made the video about, to me, I know God is real, and why I believe in it is because all of this stuff just stems from, if we do what God say, it wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be no racism, because we understand that what love is. Love has, man, God ain't sitting here up there talking about I love you because, you know what I'm saying, you taller than 6'5". Like, he ain't up there saying stuff like that. He ain't looking at you talking about, oh, I love you because your hair's straight. I don't love you because your hair ain't straight. He ain't looking at, he ain't tall, he ain't looking at stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? When you just don't understand how much we limit life when we do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a race war, man. Like, I just don't understand why we have these things. I understand we have a race war, man. I'm on Facebook. I be seeing people share stuff, man. I be like, this stuff is racist, man. Like, for real. Like, I don't like it. Don't share, like, white people, don't share no video of a black dude getting pulled over and the cop letting him go and saying, oh, see, all cops ain't bad. Or you see, Man, look, man, nobody say all cops was bad, man. Anybody say that. Anybody say all cops are bad. Yes, do it gets annoying to you that people say certain stuff? Yes, it does. Okay, but I think it stems from, like, don't get me wrong, when I see it, I don't hate the person. Like, I'll sit down and talk to them about, hey, I know you shared that video. Why you feel like that? Be honest with you, I can understand why they feel like that, because I look at stuff from both areas. I don't look at, oh, I'm black, I go through the most pain, or it's harder for me. I don't look at stuff like that. Even though I understand I go through a lot, because don't get me wrong, see, this is the thing. If you talk to me about another topic, or if we talking about certain things, you'll be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Marvin he really sound like, this, that. No, because I understand stuff. I understand that, okay, black people go through this. I understand that. So it'll sound like, I'm just attacking white people. Now, that's not what I'm doing. I just understand that it happens. But I don't let it fuel me as to, if I meet a person, if I talk to somebody, I don't let it fuel me to be racist towards them. I don't judge them for that. I don't say they white so they gonna date a white person, or they white so they'll hire a white person. I don't look at life like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know it happens, and they can be doing it right in my face. But the point is, I still love you. You know what I'm saying? I pray for you. And, you know, I wish good things on you. And if we can sit down and talk, I can relate to you how I feel about certain things, because I like to help you. And I like for people to help me be a better person. I want to, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the way I am. But we got to stop this race war, man, because it's a race war, man. We got to stop it. We just need to start looking at everybody as people, man. I'm telling you, if we could do that. Stop it. I'm sick of it, man. I'm talking that rap thing, that hip, man. Black people, you need to stop that. Black people, you need to stop that, okay? This is a white person rap. Does not mean they're trying to be black, and it doesn't mean they trash. Because people are so discriminated. It's discriminatory. Oh, look, we do something and then they do it. Oh, well, black girls have big boobs now white girls embracing big. Get on with that. How you physically look, like, what are you talking about? Like God, when he made people, he said, I'm made with black women have big boobs. He ain't make people like that. I don't get it. Just because it was in the public eye, you don't know everybody in the world. What are you talking about? And then again, what I was making about white and black. We ain't talking about Latino. We ain't talking about Hispanic. We ain't talking about none of the other races. But we talking about black and white. That's the problem, man. That's the problem, man. It's a major problem. It's a major problem. It don't make you more black or more white to do certain things. It just don't. It don't make you more black to listen to rap music. It don't. It don't make a white person trying to be black to listen to rap music. It don't make you more white to listen to country music. It don't make you more or less black if you listen to country music. Like, it's a genre of music. If you like it, you like it. It's music. It doesn't have a color. It's music. You don't have to dumb yourself down into being so trapped in a world where you just that's all you see. Like, boom, I'm black, I'm supposed to listen to rap. Oh, I'm white, I'm supposed to listen to only white. Yeah. We need to stop stuff like that. We need to stop stuff like that. We really do. We need to stop stuff like that. I'll never forget when I was in college, I had one time I was on the elevator and a guy looked at me and he was talking about, he was talking about sports, and he said something like, it's easy for them. He was a white guy, and I was like, wait, like, I'm sitting there, I didn't say nothing, but he was like, right. He was like, right more. And I was like, what is easier for us? And who is them? And then he was like, black people is easier because, you guys already had a physique and athleticism, so, white people, we have to work hard at that. It's not funny to me. It's not funny because, no, it's not easier for us. I've seen a lot of athletic white people. We need to stop that stigma, okay? Stop that, okay? It ain't easier, you know what I'm saying? We have to work hard too. Yeah, some people are more physically gifted than others, and it might be majority black people more physically gifted. As far as it depends on what sport you're talking about, or what it might be, but it might not be if we so closed minded. But that you can't. That's an offensive thing to say, like. To make it look like, you play football, you on team, you just naturally born athlete, because you black. Nah, it don't work like that. You still gotta work hard too. I got what he was saying. I didn't get mad at him. I got what he was saying. I understood it, but we need to stop looking at life like that. You need to stop looking at life like that. If I wear certain clothes, if I talk a certain way, if all of that, man, that stuff, it does not stem from your race. We need to stop that. It do not. If I see a girl with long hair, I should not assume she's mixed. Now, don't get me wrong. And then the thing about it, me and my mother, we go through that all the time. I be like, oh, mama, she mixed. My mama's like, well, black people have long hair too. I understand that. Well, sometimes I just be like, I can just look at her and tell she's mixed. Well, she's right. But we shouldn't assume that a person is mixed because they have long hair or that they not black, because that's not true. We shouldn't assume that. We should not assume. We shouldn't assume that. We just shouldn't do it. We shouldn't assume that. We shouldn't assume none of that stuff right there. None of it. We shouldn't assume if we see a black person and their eyes are hazel or their eyes green or blue that they got contacts in. We shouldn't assume that. I understand it. But we shouldn't assume it. In life, you shouldn't assume anything. Life is about facts. It's not about assumption. But it's the thing, we assume a lot, but life is not about that. We need to stop that. We need to stop doing stuff like that, man. And it's bad, man. You're not who you because you're a certain race. It doesn't make you do certain stuff. It don't make stuff for that, man. We need to open up our eyes, man. This is what we need to do. And if nobody ever do it, I don't mind. Like I don't mind being the one that feel the way I feel. And if a real race war physically started out, man, I ain't on nobody's side, man, because I'm just a person, man. I'm a human being. I'm Marvin. I ain't, I'm Marvin. Whatever. Whatever you want to say about me, you can say it about me. It doesn't bother me because I don't view life like that, man. I look at everything to equality. If I see a girl I want to take out on a date, man, I don't look at what race she is, man. I look at if her demeanor, man, she seems like a nice young lady, I probably can talk to her, I ain't looking at like if a black dude take a girl out there, all that extra, oh, she must be extra submissive or something like that. Or first of all, you supposed to submit. He the leader, so he has the final say so. But we ain't gonna talk about that though. We ain't gonna get on that. Not to say you don't have a voice, not to say you don't have an opinion. But when you choose a man, his final say so is what goes. But people, we don't get that. But we not gonna get into that. We can explain that even more something else. But we need to start a lot of stuff about race, man. We need to stop viewing it the way we view it. We need to stop it. Like, for real. We need to stop it. We need, okay, let me give you an example. If they had a function where they say, black people need to come together. Bam. You know what I'm saying? If somebody hit my phone and be like, Marv, you going to that function? I'm going to be like, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to go to that function. Because that's a racist function to me. I'm not going. Now, if they had a function that said white people need to come together, black people be pissed. People be pissed. You'll be mad. Because you'll be like, oh, that's racist. What we need to do is have a function where it say everybody needs to come together. I'll go to that. Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. Everybody needs to come together. I'll be there. And then, I ain't touch on the Black Lives Matter and that thing right there. I think that right there depends on how you stem. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm black and it was bothering me. I was like, man, people need to stop saying that black. Because it does seem like it points out. It's just like the domestic violence thing. Like when people say, no, we need to stop violence, period. We need to understand you don't need to be putting your hands on nobody. It ain't got nothing to do with if you in a relationship, you don't need to be putting your hands on nobody, period. You keep your hands on yourself and stop hurting people. That just period ain't got nothing to do with domestic. It's just like Black Lives Matter. I understand why, it came out. And people saying, oh, well, that part is not the part that's hurting, da-da-da. But see, that's the problem. We say everybody lives matter. When you start pointing it out, you kind of can open it up for white people to say, man, I'm sick of that, man. Get on with that. I ain't feeling, get on with that. I'm sick of it. Everybody lives matter. Okay. Yes, Black Lives Matter, white lives. We understand that. Me, personally, I didn't get into that because it was like, man, okay, I don't disagree with neither one of them. But both of them are right. Black Lives Matter, everybody lives matter. Both of them are right. But I understood why both sides would get offended with what most people say. But that's the part of trying to sit down and be understanding. I understood why white people was offended by it because it just seems like, man, everybody lives matter. You know what I'm saying? I understand why black people will be offended by it when white people say, man, everybody lives matter because they not understanding what's going on in the world, and so I understand both sides because I'm being understanding, and that's what we need to do. We need to be understanding, man, for real. Like, we have to be understanding. And, my personal opinion, if you look at anything in life, if it has something to do with race, man, if you say you wouldn't do something because of a person's race, man, that's racist. Point blank, period. Because that means you don't see everything as equal. That means you have a discriminatory towards stuff. Look at the woman who's what was she the head of? Whatever she's the head of. She ended up being the NAACP. She ended up being white. But if nobody tell you that you oh man, that's the thing. You don't even know. It's people in the world that you don't even know their race. You might not even know their race. You might. And I'm telling you this too. I'm sick of people talking about, oh, this Africa. But look, man, there are white people in Africa too. Stop saying the African thing connects to black people. Stop saying that. That don't make no sense. Okay, stop it. Okay, stop it. Like, people need. It's just certain stuff, and I'm not mad at nobody. It's disappointing. Like, and I can't say, oh, I know it's never gonna change because I believe in God. I believe anything is possible. I want it to change, and this is my attempt to help it change. And if it don't work, then I'm sorry that I didn't do a good enough job to help it work. I apologize to God. I apologize to you guys. But that's how I feel, man. I'm out, man. Love everybody.